How we doing tonight? How's it going, chat? Sorry, you all know me. I was finishing up a little dinner before I came on, trying to wash it down. So, apologies. I'm trying to make that waiting room time a little bit shorter. Little Resident Evil music, remixed by Mono Memory. It's a great album. If you have Apple Music, I think you can probably find it on anything. But it is really, really good. I love that soundtrack. Anyway, anywho, had to put that up there. How we doing tonight? Looks like we get. Oh, my chat's closed here. Hang on, let me open my chat. This chat window that I use on my OBS, it closes if my OBS is inactive. If something else is active, then I don't see. I'll lose track of where I'm at when I'm explaining things and trying to watch you all chat. There we go, chat window. Rick G, Chris, Eric, Ace Pilot Rick Hunter, what's up? Haven't seen you in a while. Rick G, Zach, Chris, what's up, everybody? How we doing? How we doing? Great theory video earlier on RE9. Shame no one watches your content. God damn, dude. Okay. Yeah, that is a shame. I really feel like your content is... Oh, okay, well, thank you. I should have read the rest of the comment there. Hopefully someday you'll have a bigger audience. Lots of people watch Ray's content, especially the big content creators. Got him. Got him. Yeah, I don't say anything about that. Seems like you all put that together. I appreciate you Kaufmanites out there championing for the cause. Facts. Ray 6K. Yeah, Ray 6K, let's get it. Anything bad by that? Yeah, I put that together. That's okay, Eric. I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you being here, man. Sup, Zach? Did anything big happen today? Yeah, a few things came out today. We're going to talk about them. Also stuff about, honestly, all of Capcom's games today. Yeah, I saw a lot of that stuff. Cap God, indeed. Found out RE9 will give you the choice between first and third person, yes. And you'll be able to toggle between it pretty seamlessly, it appears. So, I think that will push the processing power of the PS5, but we'll find out. Yeah, I know, Chris. What up, Evo, my brother? How we doing? No. I'm not gonna start that. I'm not gonna start any of that stuff. But if you start seeing people talk about the Ashcroft monster, then maybe we'll talk. Ray, your Ashcroft monster theory is amazing. Can't believe you're the only person who has put this together, but I am also not surprised, dude. Thanks, man. Like, I won't say I'm the only person that's put together. I can't obviously watch everybody. I'm sure there's 4,000 to 6,000 subscriber streamers out there talking about things like I talk about them. You just don't know who they are because they're not huge streamers. Just like I get people every day message me and be like, or not every day, but at least once a week they'll message me like, dude, I can't believe I'm just finding you, yada, you know. A lot of you just found me for the first time recently, you know, and find out how we get down around here, you know. So Lisa Trevor traction, but I think she is dead. Yeah, I think Lisa Trevor's dead. If the fall didn't kill her, the explosion did. If the explosion didn't kill her, the nuclear bomb probably killed her. I mean, yeah, I think it's going to be more personal. You know, let's jump right into it. Let's just jump right into it. So, they're making a big deal about Resident Evil. Oh, how's the volume, by the way, you all? I don't want the music to drown out the volume, but I love this album. I'm just going to let it roll. They keep making a big deal about this being cinematic horror, this being a very cinematic experience with Resident Evil 9. Requiem, I guess I should say. Why would Lisa be away from the mansion? Well, I think actually the thing that people are going to is that the mansion is destroyed. Now, its underground network of tunnels is probably intact. I mean, I'm sure a thermal blast went through the whole compound, tunnels, lab, everything, to wipe out everything. that's my other thing too, is like, it wasn't just the mansion blowing up. It was the lab underneath the mansion, everything just kaboom, just gone. Complete incineration. Now, if Lisa Trevor survived, we could theory storm, right? We could theory storm a way for her to survive and live in the woods and live off of the wildlife and stuff like that. That's possible. Maybe eat a few people that unfortunately find their way into the woods. There is some time between Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2. You know, she could have survived. You know, she could have survived, and you could have had her make her way to Raccoon City. However, I don't think Lisa Trevor is slithering through the ceilings and stuff of buildings in ruined Raccoon City. And by the way, I feel like, and I don't know anything to confirm this, I feel like this hotel that they're talking about, that was it called the Redwood, the Red, yeah, chat, help me out, what's the name of this hotel? I forget. The Resident Evil 9 hotel. Could have been a hotel in Raccoon City. They were showing camera footage from 2007 or 2018 when Alyssa is murdered from this derelict building that she's in, this hotel. So why would Lisa be away from the mansion? If she survived, there would be nothing to stay there for, and she would just wander through Remwood. Okay, Renwood. It's something like that. Yeah, y'all are on the money. It's something like that. But I think the Renwood Hotel is like a ruined hotel in destroyed Raccoon City. You might have some homeless people, some vagabonds, some vagrants staying there or something like that. But I think it's a hotel in Raccoon City. I don't think we see Lisa Trevor slithering through the air ducts and stuff of abandoned buildings in Raccoon City. So I'm clipping that one right out. I don't think it's Lisa Trevor. It's Lisa Trevor vibes, but it's your Nemesis type character. Lisa Trevor was a Nemesis type of character. Or wait. Yes. Nemesis was first. I had to stop and think. Which one was first? The Resident Evil Remaster 02? So yeah, that would have been after Nemesis. So Lisa Trevor was a Nemesis, Mr. X type of character. This is the same thing. That's possible. I do like the idea that Chris had posted a video to our Discord, and it was saying how it could be Oswald Spencer. So I like the idea of it being Spencer using the Megamycete, like coming back to life from the Megamycete. Because so you take an OG villain and you use a new BOW to bring him back. I like that concept, blending the old with the new. I like that. So I'm kind of on board with that guy's theory. But you're right, it could be anybody. I originally, my knee-jerk reaction, because his hair was slicked back, I was like, it's Billy. We finally found out what happened to Billy. We finally found out what happened to Billy. Here he is. So yeah. There is, even if she survived, Lisa was attached to the location, always searching there for her mother. I don't think she would have wanted, yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't think it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be Lisa at all. I think she's dead, triple dead, and I think this is a mutated Alyssa Ashcroft, especially if there's no body. Now, if there was a body buried, then that theory is debunked. If there is no body, then that monster is Alyssa Ashcroft. Absolutely. Abso-friggin-lutely. Take it to the bank. But yeah, so I'm excited about a lot of the stuff they showed. I saved some of the images. I'm going to pull them up, and I want to talk about a few of them. Here, hang on a second. Where'd I put those friggin' images? There's somewhere here. Hang on. I gotta find these friggin' images. Here we go. RE9 images. They're right here on my desktop. Content creator fail. I forgot where I put the friggin' folder with the images in it. Pop you over here. All right then. So, get view switched. So here we go. I love this shot right here. This is in game, people. This is in game. Showing off the lighting. The reason I love this shot is because there are two sources of light in this shot. This is your classic two light source perspective. If you've ever taken art class, some of the hardest painting and sketching to do is multiple light source, because you got to get the hue, you got to get the texture, you got to get the point of light correct. Capcom nails it in this shot. Look at this right here, over the head, right here, this little bit of ambient glow right here. It's a mixture, and the tone, the lighting tone of the room is incredible. This, of course, right here is your point of light, and over here the window is your point of light. You're lighting up this spot over here on the floor, yes, but you're also lighting up the room by this light that's flooding through the window. This lighting is perfect. And RE Engine has fixed their friggin' hair. They have finally fixed their hair. And look at the textures on this clothing. This is in game. People, we're to a point where we're playing movies. This is incredible. I love this shot. So this is the I think she's in the hotel here, because this looks like an older hotel lobby. You've got like, this looks like an old heating vent over here, like an old heating, what do they call those things? The heating apparatuses that are built into the wall. It looks like one of those right there. Looks like you might have like an old piano or something over here. You've got, plants and stuff out here in the lobby. You've got signs right here. You've got like some kind of like welcome home, kind of like staying at the Hyatt kind of thing right here. Now, I don't think this is going to be a classic hotel. This is not going to be like a chain hotel. It's not going to look like a chain hotel. It's going to be like a classic hotel. That's why I'm keeping in mind, because I think what Capcom's trying to do is, I think they are trying to create a new iconic venue. We haven't had one in a while. You know, Resident Evil 2, it was all about the RPD. You go other places, but it was all about the RPD. Resident Evil 1, it's all about the Spencer Mansion. You go other places on the compound of the Spencer Mansion, but it's the Spencer Mansion. I think they are trying to create a new iconic setting within Resident Evil, and CapGod knows how to do this. They absolutely know how to do this. I think they're trying to do that with the Rimwood Hotel. Just, it's got those classic Resident Evil aesthetics that I love. It's like a classic look with the, I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of like statues and wild architecture in here. We're going to find out it was built for a certain reason. I'm all on board with what they're doing with this so far. So let me put that there, put you here. All right, next image. Next image, chat. Radiator, thank you. I don't know why I spaced on the word radiator. Thank you, Ashley. Harriet Jones, Shadow Ghost, art by Matilda Harris, Vast Storehouse Press. So, this is foreshadowing. This is foreshadowing at its greatest. Look right here. This little hand coming through the doorway. Allow me to show you this. Boom. Got this little hand coming through the doorway right here. Creepy little thing. And then you got this. Boom, boom. The foreshadowing is intense. Whatever this is will be with you through the whole game. And I love this shot because you see that you're outside right here because you're looking inside. Whatever this is not outside the manor trying to come in or the hotel. It's inside the hotel with you. And look up here. This right here, you see like long hair coming off of it. It almost looks like a deformed woman if I'm having a look at it. This is absolutely Alyssa Ashcroft. This is her mom. This is her mom. And you see the other window right there. Now, I can't say for sure a window is a window is a window. But if we go back and look, she was just in this room, right? And it looks like over here, this is either like some kind of counter or a window or something right here. If we come back over to this shot right here, it looks a lot like that window. With the way the curtains are drawn and everything, it looks a lot like that window right there. I wish we could see more of what's over here, like the radiator or whatever this is right here. But it looks like you're coming out of this room and then blam, you're out here and you see this hand on the window. What a scary moment that would be. That's crazy. And I've been poring over these pictures like for the last hour. So, and also earlier when I was looking through them for the first time. Now, let's go in here. This is what I'm talking about with your classic Resident Evil architecture, you know, the art style, the aesthetic, everything. And this right here looks like a psychiatric hospital. I say that because they've got this Rorschach test on the wall right here. And you've got, this looks like old school medical stuff. Right over here especially. This looks like a place, well, here, hang on. I hate when I do that. This looks like a place you would keep like syringes and stuff, like in, if you needed to wash something up right here. This in a stool for a doctor to sit here and check your vitals. And right here, it looks like that's either just a cable for the lamp or there's some kind of device right here. This is where a patient would sit. This is where either a patient would sit or if there's like a couch or something over here. This is where a doctor might sit and a patient might sit over here. Something. Or this is some kind of weird observation room and the weird observer is sitting right here. Possibilities are endless, but I don't think this is a part of the hotel. I think this is a psychiatric hospital right here. And if we're already seeing a hotel, we're already seeing a psychiatric hospital, it's pretty crazy that my speculation might be true, that they're going to map out all of Raccoon City. That might be the thing Jeff Keighley was excited and talking about, and how, like, what was the word he used? I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm not doing good with words tonight, am I? But it really looks like they're going for it. Like the scope, yeah, the scope, he said he was so impressed with what they were trying to do with the game. I bet we get all of Raccoon City. This right here, just a shot of her. I think this is her breaking out of the gurney she's tied to. I think this is her getting out. Or it's maybe her seeing the monster for the first time. Either way, I wish they would have put like some really cool character key art up of her. So this right here, I loved getting a big look at this, because this is the first time she comes across the monster, right? This thing, so based on I've talked to a couple of people who saw it firsthand, and based on what they told me, she had just eaten a zombie right here. Like, just eaten a zombie, which is, that's crazy. And here's the other thing. Like, she might chase you and stuff like that in the game. But if this is her mom, maybe there's some kind of like maternal instincts trying to protect her daughter. Like if she's eating zombies, if she's fighting monsters, and then she comes chasing after you. We don't know. I mean, she might be chasing after you to kill her. She's still a monster to kill you or whatever, but who knows? Her head looks huge. Her head looks massive. Like Jelly Baby, Resident Evil Village, massive. Y'all remember Jelly Baby? Whew, this is going to be Jelly Baby all game. Jelly Baby all game. So I'm going to pause right there for a second and check out. What are y'all saying here? What are y'all saying here? What if Wesker is the guy in the hood? What if Leon's the guy in the hood? I don't think he is. But there's something about his jawline that makes me think of Leon Kennedy. Billy's lighter. Billy and 9 confirmed. Leon being Grace's dad would be wild, but the guy in the hood looks super pale and messed up. I don't even think he is human. Yeah, I think the guy in the hood is whoever that is in the chair. I say the monster is Alyssa and Leon is the man in the hood. And as a funny little haha, I say Leon is Grace's dad. I've heard a lot of people saying that Leon is Grace's dad. I don't know. I like Leon being like unattached in that way. I would like to see Grace Ashcroft become a new Resident Evil character, like a character we can kind of lean on, and you know, for future installments, like a younger character that we can use from time to time. You know, she's in the FBI. She's not going anywhere unless she dies. You know, she's not going to fade off right off into the sunset and disappear like Barry did for a while, like Rebecca Chambers has done. You know, where the hell is Rebecca Chambers? And other survivors that have come and gone over the years. We need a character that we can depend on, like a Leon, like a Chris, like a Jill, like a Claire, a main character that we can depend on to draw from the well of characters that are aging out of being able to survive in these situations. Because as much as we love Leon and Chris and all them, they're equipped to go in. But once you start getting late 50s, early 60s, you're not going to be equipped to survive these situations anymore. Just not going to be able to. The human body can only take so much. So, but Chris is like Batman. He's like trained to the point of human perfection, you know. Wesker being the guy in the hood, I'd be all in on that. What if it's Jake? What if it's his son? It was Jake, right? Was that his son's name? Or his biological son's name? What if it's Jake? This is something else I want to talk to you all about tonight. They make a point to show you the bottom part of his face. I really feel like there's a clue there. I think it's his jawline. I think the guy in the hood is going to be a guy we have seen, that we've seen before, and I'll be surprised if it's a brand new character. I think it's absolutely going to be somebody we know, but I think it could be Jake. It's a sterile environment for sure. Except for the lead paint falling off the walls. I love how it looks old. It's got the lines running outside. It's got the utility lines running outside the wall right here. The gas lines exposed right here. Whether that's electric or gas. Sometimes in these older buildings, that's a gas line right there. I know because I helped demo a house one time. We had to pull these things out. That was not fun, because somebody forgot to turn the gas off. That's a story for another day. It was not me. It was not me that forgot to turn the gas off. Anyway, that was a wild day. Anyway, door on the left, definitely an old school. You need the right key. Okay, so yeah, this is what I was going to talk about. This door right here. Okay, let's get back to the pictures. Let's get back to the show and tell. That door right there. This is one of the pictures I found. It is, boom. Now, that I don't think this is the same door. And it's not. This is the other side of this door, I think. Because if you see the latch and everything, All lines up right there. This door is different than this side of the door. So to get into this room, you have to find the key that matches the emblem over the lock, the angel, the cherub. And then you gain access to this room. You come through that door, you walk in, boom. I think that's super cool. I love, like I said, it's the classic Resident Evil design. I think this room will be from later in the game. This has a later in the game Resident Evil door feel to it. Like, I think you'll come across the other side of this door and just ka-chung, ka-chung, you won't be able to go in there for a while. And then when you get in here, you're going to be entering a new story point of the game. And here's the other thing. As we're talking about like a return to classic Resident Evil. Jill has the affection to keep her young, like Sherry. She can last longer. I just hate Jill's character so much. I love Jill. Jill Valentine's my favorite Resident Evil character. Un period. She's my favorite Resident Evil character. Where was I? Oh yeah. So one of the things I hope they return to is the music in Resident Evil. Like when you enter a new area or new story point, the music would grip you. It wouldn't be over the top. It wouldn't be anything crazy, but something would change. So who remembers in Resident Evil Remaster 2002, when you get out of the mansion, you go down through the garden area and everything, and then you walk in to the garden house area, you know, where you fight Plant 42 and all that, and you go underground to the shark tank. When you walk in those doors, the music changes instantly. It's like doo doo. It's like almost a little synthesizer and chimes, but it's ominous. Like, and the camera's right on you when you come in the door. The camera's right on you, and the music changes instantly, and it's like, oh, I'm in a new. There's some other stuff happening here. Like, the music would give you an idea that your experience is about to change. Like, the horror you just witnessed is going to be different than the horror you experience here. That was the beautiful cinematic storytelling of early Resident Evil. But of course, you know, the camera angles, the fixed camera angles and stuff played a lot into that. That's why I miss them. We're never going to get those back, I don't think. Unfortunately, because that is Resident Evil. So anyway, I'm not going to harp on that too much tonight. You all know how I feel about that. I'm not going to harp on that too much tonight. Trying to keep up with your all's comments here real quick. I'm the only one who hates Jill. You might be, Ashley. But that's okay. That's okay. I don't hate any Resident Evil characters, really. Even the villains, I'm like, they're good villains. Like, I like all the... I didn't like Piers as much as some people did. But I knew as soon as he walked on the screen, he was dead. Like, I was like, this guy is dead meat. And Resident Evil 6 wound up being dead meat. So, anyway. You know what? Jake. I don't like Jake that much. I'm not a big fan of Little Wesker. I'm not a fan of Little Wesker. Can't wait to read the files you find, and I rarely read... Dude, like, I am reading the files all up in this game. Because I really feel like the developers of Capcom have been keeping notes of what was going on with Raccoon City in all this time, the passage, the villain that we've got, the villains that have come and gone, the characters that have come and gone. I think there's going to be information on everybody. Everybody. Jill and Mia. Okay, so I don't count the 7 and 8 characters because they're barely characters. Like, the best character, well, the Baker family, they were okay. But your protagonist, I never even gave a shit about the Ethan Winters. Like, I made the joke earlier. Somebody was coming at me about, oh, first person's the way to go. I was like, oh, yeah, so you can name your arms. These arms are called Ethan Winters. These arms are called Chris Redfield in Resident Evil Village, you know. Because you don't have a character, you know. These arms belong to a guy named Ethan Winters. He's cocking his gun. He's grabbing stuff. He's spraying himself. You know, but you never see the characters. So that's so lame. Anyway, y'all gonna get me on a tirade about first person, third person. At least we're getting third person. I can get excited about the game again. So I'm happy they did it. I'm happy they did it, and it wasn't an afterthought. It's a third person game that they added first person for all you first person fans out there. It wasn't the other way around. No, it was never going to be the other way around. I know it was the other way around. I know third person came after. Well, yeah, actually, like the Ashcroft monster is not going to be the main villain at all. It'll be an antagonistic threat. It won't be on the level of Nemesis, I don't think. I think it will be scarier than Nemesis. But I think they're going to treat it like Nemesis, how it scares you. It's a narrative tool, but it's also a gameplay device to keep you scared, to keep you on the run, to make you miss things. I guarantee you that monster is designed to be put into the game to make you miss stuff. That's what Nemesis did. Like, Nemesis would make you miss things. Lisa Trevor never made me miss things. I was like, oh, I can kind of... Once you figure out how she works, you can maneuver around her and kind of get away. Though the final encounter with Lisa Trevor still will get me sometimes. I'll still get, like, shoved off the side and you are dead. It still happens sometimes. Even though I know exactly how to play that, it's still tricky. Alright, so I skipped a few pictures. Let me pull up a few here. Okay. Oh, yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one right here. Alright, so I definitely think this right here, this is a local works building, I think, that was retrofitted into a bit of a FEMA shelter, kind of like we saw in the RPD, right? Kind of like we saw in the RPD before everything went to hell. I don't think this is RPD. It could be RPD, but the reason I don't think it is because it's a little more put together. It's not as... RPD was in shambles. Like, there was stuff knocked over, crazy shit everywhere. This is a little more untouched by time. But you can tell time has taken its toll. Look at the floors. The floors are ruined. They have gotten wet. The paint is peeling. I mean, it's forgotten by time in a way. All the lights aren't on. Like, these lights, boom, 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 they're burned out. This light is on. These lights are burned out. Some of the lights are on, some of them are burned out. The fact that it's still got electricity is kind of wild. But I think this might be the psych ward. Again, I think this might be a wing of the psychiatric ward, maybe even the main lobby. And they pulled beds out and stuff to help people that had been wounded or bitten. And they pulled them in here for shelter during the fall of Raccoon City, when the citizens were trying to make their last stand. And then, of course, all these things that were bitten died and woke up and annihilated everybody inside of here. And the lickers cleaned up whatever was left. But yeah, so I think that's what this building right here is. And I think it's the psych ward, because look at the trim back here on the wall. As you go back this way, the trim back here on this wall, right back here, is cohesive with this look right here. It is simpatico. It is the same. So as you see the floor pattern right here, the floor pattern is the same as this floor pattern. So this is the same building. If this is a psychiatric hospital, then this is just like a main lobby area part of that psychiatric hospital. So I love that picture. That's a great picture. Of course, we've all seen this picture here. Her hanging upside down from a gurney. We've seen this picture. Saw that in the trailer. Of course, we see Dr. Giggles here. Dr. Giggles. You can see the long. You can see the long hair. You could say that's gray hair, but it's blonde. It's light hair. Again, I think this is absolutely Alyssa Ashcroft. Absolutely. And this picture, let's open it up. Come on, computer. I know you got it in you. I know you can do it. I know you can do it, computer. Here we go. Okay. So, again, this right here could be a different building. This could be the hotel. And you can see right here where the Ashcroft monster busts through the ceiling right there. And she's investigating what's going on here. Like, what is this? You know what? I take it back. I think this is going to be the psych ward as well. Or whatever. This is going to be a hospital, psych ward, whatever. Because she looks like she has just gotten up and escaped again. She's holding a bottle, it looks like. No, it's not. That's a hoof on the horse statue back there. So, but yeah, just the atmosphere. They're getting the atmosphere right. And at least we're getting cool camera angles in these cutscenes. Because this is definitely a cutscene. Like, I don't think you're going to turn and come down this hallway and all of a sudden if you're playing in first person, boom, you see this angle with her running at you. I don't think that's what it is. And these are the same light. Yeah, these are the same lights as... You know what? I'm going to kill that picture because it's creepy. I'm going to kill that one because I don't... We've seen it. So yeah, these are the same lights. These are the same exact lights that are in the rest. So this is going into a different area. A more darkly, dimly lit area. Because of course, right? Because of course. Now, here we go. I took this from the trailer. This is a crazy, crazy shot because this is the monster actually busting out of the ceiling, and this is after it is busted out of the ceiling. Same spot. Look on the floor right there. Look at the debris on the floor, the horse statue back there. It is the same exact thing. Oh, my PlayStation just went to sleep. That's why my light just went off. It's already getting creepy up in her. Oh, hello. That was bright. Like the light of the sun on me. So yeah, that is, here's the Ashcroft monster. Super wild, super nasty looking. And then this is where it breaks out. So, I've got this. Just Alyssa Ashcroft right there. Boom. I think that's her right there. So for now, that is all I have as far as pictures and stuff like that. The Yep, there we go. So, that's my takeaway from what all came out today. Plus the news on how it's going to play and all that kind of stuff. Don't want the Alyssa monster to be overshadowed by a better enemy. I think as far as the monsters in the game go, I think we're going to get some crazy monsters, but I think she's going to be the main nemesis type monster. Of course, we're going to have a big bad, like a villain, the guy in the chair. He's going to be the big bad, so we'll see where that goes, but... See, Angel, I need to do my homework on Resident Evil Outbreak because I don't know it very well. I never played Outbreak. I guess I need to go in and play Outbreak sometime, don't I? Resident Evil Outbreak, right? I need to play that because I don't know much about that. I've just been like Googling stuff and doing research online, but I don't know much about it. Yeah, but Lisa Trevor... Bobby, we kind of debunked that. If you just look at it logically, Lisa Trevor didn't. She's not the type of creature that the other advanced Umbrella creatures are. Also, she wouldn't leave the mansion. Also, she most likely died in the explosion. Because the explosion wasn't just the mansion blowing up; it was the entire area being incinerated. Like the compound underneath, everything attached to that thing exploded, incinerated, disintegrated. Um, but zombie that threw me off there for a second. If it's an outbreak, no, I didn't see it. So, but no, yeah. So we kind of debunked Lisa Trevor. The consensus here in the chat right now, and I talked about this in the video earlier. If you saw the video, this is Alyssa Ashcroft. This is her mom. This is Grace's mom. I will give it a run, Angel. We'll do it soon. That's only on PS2 though, correct? So I'm gonna have to find a way to play that. I'm assuming the Outbreak games are not on PlayStation 5, like as far as like being able to play them from the store or whatever. I'm assuming. But I loved what they were talking about today. A lot of the content creators were talking about how when they were in their little pods watching this, the theater that everybody was shown. Apparently, it was a really good sized theater compared, like based on who I've talked to. Like it was a big theater, and they were naming kind of like who's who of content creators that were Summer Games Fest that were there in the theater watching it, and they said it was a guided. So what was the exact wording? It was a guided demo they were watching, and then they were all taken away to play the demo in these like separate pods, basically. But okay, cool, very cool. I'm always down for that. I'm always down for more Resident Evil. Like Resident Evils I haven't played. There aren't many. Outbreak 1 and 2 are... Those might be the only two I haven't played. Those might be the only two because I skipped them. I didn't play them. I played Gun Survivor. I played all the versions of 1, 2, DualShock 2, Nemesis, 3 remake, 2 remake, Code Veronica, one of my favorites, Code Veronica. But I think Lisa Trevor is definitely dead. So I'm going to put that... Now, if I wind up being wrong, that's fine. Plus, she was old. She was old in 1996. If you remember. She was, like, old. Now... Well, I mean, not 1996 when the game came up. 1998. She was old in 1998. And so she's even older now, but with the T virus she had, and if someone captured her and experimented on her more, it's possible that she's mutated even more. But I think they're trying to make this real cerebral horror, like a well, take any pick of your modern directors who are really modern horror has a lot of familial ties to it. And that's kind of what I'm thinking they're doing with this. They made it deeply personal early on. Like, they made many points in the premiere trailer that, hey, your mother, Alyssa Ashcroft, died 8 years ago. Yeah, she's dead. Yeah, she's dead. And so they kept beating you over the head with this. And then they kept showing you shots of the creature. And I'm like... It's almost like they're telling you. Now that I think about it, it's almost like they're just telling you, hey, the monster is Alyssa. So for people that know the character, that's even going to be more tragic. I would absolutely do that. I would absolutely do that. Like, if you know the character and you really like the character, if you're a fan of Outbreak and you love that character, and I've seen key art of that character before, like, I know who she is. I just never played the games. Like, I know her story somewhat, just never played the games. That would be incredibly tragic, because it would be the first time. I mean, you got Steve in Code Veronica who hulked out, you know, and became a monster. But this will be the first time that a lot of time has passed, that you haven't spent time with a character. You come back, the character is the monster is chasing you around. It would be them taking a nod from the Resident Evil movies, where they made forgettable guy #1 in the first movie, Eric Tobias, I think was the actor's name, and they made him Nemesis in the second movie. I mean, it would be kind of like a nod in that direction. Yeah, Ashley. Well, I was gonna say, if one of her last jobs was investigating the Baker family compound and all that kind of stuff, and then she's murdered, well, is that an Ethan Winters kind of situation, you know? But Ethan was able to maintain his himself. Doesn't look like she's been able to do that. I mean, this monster looks straight up nasty and horrifying. Like, they've done a good job about keeping it shadowed, not seeing its face, not being able to put together what it looks like. Just the big smile, the big grin, and then it has feminine features. That's it. I mean, they're doing a great job with it. 57. Okay, I knew it was late 50s or early 60s when she was experimented on. So, if she was experimented on in 57 and she was just a little girl, let's say she was like 7. I can't remember how old the files say she was, or if they did. But that would put her at 76 years old. So I just don't think it's her. That's a possibility. I like the idea of it being Spencer and him using the Megamycete in some way. I love the idea of what they did with 7 and 8 as far as like the new BOW catalyst. I think it presents a lot of stuff. The Las Plagas was a cool one. What did they call the 5? The stuff they found in 5. What was that one called? It wasn't Las Plagas. It was something else. Ouroboros. The Ouroboros virus. I felt like they could have done more with that. Like, I feel like they dropped the ball with the Ouroboros virus. I thought they were going to do a lot more with that. Because that was an interesting one. That was you could make some straight up horror show stuff with that. But it looks like they're going to keep running with this Megamycete. Now, I think they should. Oh, excuse me. Ugh. It's my best Eskia impression. Oh, excuse me. I've thought since I played Claire Obscure that Eskia sounded a lot like the shopkeeper from Kendo's Guns in the original RE2. Oh, sorry about that. I thought you were one of them. What's happening in this city? Well, it started as a wee day, and it turned into a woo day when everybody started eating each other. And now I'm all with my shotgun going wee, and everybody getting eaten in the street are all woo. That's true, Ashley. They do roll those out in trilogies, but I feel like they've been a little more loose with what they're doing with 7, 8, and 9. Very, very loose. But we'll see what happens. I I don't want to over speculate like who the villain is or what's going. There's a big part of me that wants to be a fan and be surprised and not try to figure it out. But my brain can't help but try to figure it out. Whenever they release new stuff, I'm just starting to connect the dots, and do my best to kind of figure it out. Even though I don't necessarily want to figure it out before I play the game. But we're going to get a wealth of information on this game in the next few weeks. Like a sickening wealth of information over the next few months even. We get to Gamescom, we're going to get a lot. They're going to give us a lot at Gamescom. I can just feel it. I think that'll be the point where, and I don't want leaks to happen, but that's going to be the point where they're going to have a really hard time keeping the leaks at bay. Like they're not going to be able to keep all the leaks at bay. And that's just kind of when it's going to hit the fan. So, but we'll see. I am hopeful that they can keep everything under the hats and surprise us. There's a good question. What's the next thing you want to see from this game? What's the next thing you want to see from this game? I want to see item management. I want to get an idea of what we're going to need to stock up on and keep in stock, and what can we just kind of let go. I love that they talked about distracting the monster. Like how you have to distract the monster with sound. To get it to go this way or that way. I think that's brilliant, and that adds like a whole new level of having to think your way out of a situation. Whole new level of strategy for Resident Evil, because I can't recall a time when you've had to distract a monster. Well, we've seen Chris and Jill fight, even though she was controlled in Resident Evil 5. Jill in Resident Evil 5 was fucking dope, man. She was killer. She was dope. I thought she was great in Resident Evil 5. And the fact that Wesker had her under his control, that was wild. Her reveal in 5, because the whole time you thought she was dead, I was super depressed. She was my favorite character even back then. And the whole time in 5, they're just like, it's like Jill's dead, she died, And then all of a sudden she pops up with Wesker. I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. Well, yeah, but I think Chris is going to play it cool and run his own investigation internally. I don't think he's going to just bounce on BSAA. I think he's going to stick around and do his own research and try to figure out what's going on internally. Because you're going to have a better chance of figuring out what's happening internally than externally. So I don't think him and Jill are going to be at odds. I also am not sure you're going to see either one of them in this game. Because depending on how the plot unfolds with what's happening in Raccoon City, also I want to say there's a line in the trailer where someone says, have you seen the shit I've seen, or something like that, and people have thought it's Leon. I think it personally sounds more like Chris Redfield. Everybody might just wind up being in it. We might just get everybody in it. I think that's a shame that we never saw Chris Redfield in Raccoon City. We never saw him or Barry in Raccoon City. Think about that. Think about that. Look, can I tell you all my idea for a Resident Evil movie real quick? Can I just tell you all this script I wrote for a Resident Evil movie about 15 years ago? I wrote a script. I might just release it on my Patreon. Because no one's ever gonna see it. It's just sitting on my computer. Let me know in the chat if you all want me to give you just a quick couple-minute rundown of my synopsis for a Resident Evil movie. Let me know. I'm gonna take a break and I'll be right back. I'm gonna find where this file is on my computer, and I'll be right back. Give me just a sec. I'm gonna go find this thing. Oh, that was messed up, huh? Okay, so let me start over. I didn't get too far into it. So this is the premise of the movie. Target acquired. I found my script. I thought it was gonna take me a while to find it. I've got it. I've still got it. I'm absolutely gonna release this thing on Patreon here in a few weeks. I'm gonna read through it and make sure it's good. Can you still not hear me talking? Can you hear me now? Anyway, I think you can hear me now. Can you hear me? I'm gonna wait and see if y'all confirm that you can hear me. Okay. Gaijin Himoto. Alright, so here we go. I found the script. I thought it was gonna take me a while to find it. I found it. I'm absolutely gonna release this script on Patreon in a few weeks. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna make sure it doesn't need any touch up and make sure the dialogue is good. I'm gonna release this thing on Patreon. But so the story starts with a bearded guy driving a pickup truck just down like a highway in what looks like the middle of the desert, right? It's Barry Burton driving a pickup truck. And there's a guy hiking, he's got like an army bag on his shoulder. It's Chris Redfield, right? Barry's pulling up on him, you know, and Chris kind of sees him. He's like, whoa, Barry Burton, you know? But you don't hear dialogue here, but you hear a voiceover cutting in with them at a bar. Some half-eaten chili fries and like some wings and a couple of beers, a couple of empty shot glasses. And Barry's like, look, I'm in Raccoon City now. I'm doing this police gig, but it's like, you know, we're kind of special forces. We're going in, and he's telling Chris about it. Chris has been dishonorably discharged from the military for breaking rank and saving some of his people, going above his captain's orders to save these guys that were about to get murdered out in the Middle East, right? So he's dishonorably discharged, but he's got like, he's not like a bad dude or anything. He's got leadership qualities, and Barry Burton knows it because he served with him. So he brings Chris in, and then you get to meet the other characters. You get to meet Bravo Team in about 15 minutes. You get to meet everybody in Bravo Team. You get to meet everybody in Alpha Team. They're running around Raccoon City. They're busting doors down. They're making drug busts. They're taking down like a terrorist ring that's in Raccoon City. You know, they're busting heads and taking names, and you get to see them working with Wesker, and Wesker like smiling at the progress everybody's making and patting them on the back on the job. Like they're all going in together and SWAT style and taking people down, like doing real shit. You get to see how badass all these guys are. You get to see Forrest with the sniper gun up on a tower and everything. You get to see how badass these guys really are. Brad Vickers overhead with a helicopter. He's like, it's like a night chase, and he's like in there, and Wesker's in there with him, and Chris Redfield's in there with him, observing how they do things. And like they're following these black SUVs, these drug runners, and then Jill and Barry and some other people are like, and Bravo Team are like setting up a barricade to block them in and take them down. You get to see stars doing real shit for 15 minutes. You get all this in 15 minutes. You get to know these characters. You get to see who they're buddies with. You get to see Chris having drinks with guys from Bravo Team. Not just like bodies on a balcony and just guys half eaten like Kenneth Sullivan and all them. He's like having beers with these guys, you know. And Jill Valentine's like, you know, doing Jill stuff, and Wesker's kind of being odd. But you not like dark, clandestine odd. So if nobody's ever played the games, you don't get yet that he is a bad guy. And then they're watching the news at the bar, and it's like, you know, grisly scene in the Arklay Mountains today. You know, a fifth body's been found, mutilated, and then Wesker radios in. He's like, guys, we need to have a meeting. Hey, so the time has come. We're going to go investigate this. We're going to find out what's going on up here. And Wesker is basically like, these guys are ready now. I can test my BOWs against them. So Bravo Team goes in, and then Chris is talking to Kenneth Sullivan, some people before they helicopter out, and he's like, you guys got this, fist bumps, everything. It's like, we'll have some beers tomorrow night. Let me know what y'all find up there, okay? Next day, no report back. That night, no report back. Nobody's reporting in. And so Wesker's like, okay, we've lost contact with everybody up there. We fear it may have been a crash or a mechanical malfunction. We're going to go check it out. Be prepared for the worst. We're hoping to find survivors. Bring back anybody you can. And then, boom, you go right in to Alpha Team going in, and then the game story of Resident Evil begins. I got it chopped up at about a 2 hour, 15-minute runtime. That's an intro to my script for Resident Evil. Like, it's all character driven. It's all character driven. And you get to know the characters. When you see them all taken out and all eaten and all killed and everything, it matters. It matters. And you get a vibe for why Chris and Jill and the survivors are so gung-ho about, you know, we're going to take these sons of bitches down that did this to our friends. And so, yeah, so that's a look into that's a look into my Resident Evil script that I've been sitting on for like 15, 16 years. I'd always hoped to be able to show it to somebody and do something with it, but I just don't think that day is ever going to come. So I'm just going to release the damn thing and let you all check it out and see what you think. So what did you all think of that 20-minute intro? That's just 20 minutes. 20 minutes. It's not rocket science. You know what I mean? I think my end is way behind your all stream, what you all are getting. It wouldn't be a short film because you actually, that's how the movie starts. That's how the script starts. And then it goes into Resident Evil. You get a lot of the big points, the big scares. You get to know the other factions. William and Annette Birkin are actually in the script for the first Resident Evil, because there's actually a sequence where at the end, when Wesker is revealed to be the big bad guy, as he leaves Chris and everybody, he's heading out, or he's trying to head out before Tyrant catches up with him. He gets a call from William Birkin and Annette Birkin, like on the computer, you know. So you get a glimpse of William and Annette in this. So, but yeah, it ties everything together. And like there are little things in the script with things that Wesker will say and things he'll look at Chris, especially he looks at Chris, you know. And there's a line in the script where Wesker says, you know, I've been thinking about maybe moving on to something else, you know. As there's a scene where Chris and Wesker are actually investigating the one of the safe rooms together. Like they're investigating a way out and all that kind of stuff. It's the safe room in the garden house, or the guard house. They're investigating it, and he's like, you know, I've been considering moving on to something else. Would you consider coming with me? Would you consider maybe relocating to another position? And Chris is like, well, with who? He's like, well, I might be taking a security position in a pharmaceutical company. I've been considering it, been mulling it over. I think I'm going to leave Stars to Barry. If I decide this, nobody else knows about this. Would you come with me? I wrote in a little bit of Wesker being like, I see something in Chris. Like, of course, you know, being Wesker, it's like, it's something he wants to manipulate. He wants Chris to kind of be his guard dog, his personal guard dog, like his personal bodyguard almost, to watch his back, to like another set of eyes. Like he sees that in Chris, but Chris is infallible. Well, that's the mistake that Wesker makes about Chris. Chris is infallible, and so is Jill Valentine, and Barry is not. Barry is kind of like already in Wesker's pocket, but there are dialogues between Wesker, Chris, and Jill where he's testing them to see if he can get them like he got Barry. And he finds they're infallible. So that plays to Resident Evil 5 in my head. Not that I wrote that far out, but I wanted to pick things from things that happened later on where Wesker is just like, you know, he's like got godlike power, but Chris Redfield just gets under his goddamn skin. Like he hates Chris Redfield. Like he doesn't feel passionate about anybody else. I'm not saying like passion, you know, but you know, get fired up. He doesn't get fired up about anybody else. just Chris Redfield. And so in my script, it's because Chris Redfield batted his offer away and spit in his face, basically. And he's like, you know, like the charismatic, you know, egotistical villain. How dare you? You know, I extended my hand, a right seat at the throne, and you spit in my face. So that's kind of how it was. I remember writing this years ago and thinking I was just having so much fun writing Wesker. You know, I was having so much fun writing him as not a tormented villain, but like as a chess player. Like he was like just always trying to stay a couple moves ahead. And Chris is not good at chess, but he's good at just knocking all the pieces off the board, like not playing by the rules of chess. And always finding Wesker in checkmate, you know? So that was always fun to write. So I am going to release this script in a few weeks. I'm not going to talk too much more about that. I am going to release this script. I'm going to look through it. Of course, I'm going to have time to look through it and make sure it's good. And I'm going to release it on my Patreon. So that's, hell yeah, that's going down. That is going down. And I'll be happy to finally have that out into the world, since my movie will never get made. Maybe it could be a Netflix series at some point. 8 episodes, all of Resident Evil 1. Don't have to put my name on it. Just make the damn thing. Just make it right. So that all of us fans can finally have Resident Evil. So, but that's why I get so mad when these live action adaptations come out. And I started the tag. I was like, just just make the damn man, just do the damn mansion. Hashtag just do the damn mansion. When Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City was coming out, I was like, just do the damn mansion. It's not Die Hard. Like Resident Evil, that's the thing too with the movies. It's like it's not. They try to make Die Hard. Yes. Evo, I'm absolutely going to release that. So what I'm doing with that is I'm working on the artwork for it. Do you all remember the old Super Nintendo prologues, like Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, where it's like panning images with like text written on the screen or whatever? I'm doing it like that. The Knights of the Round Genova story, the Cetra story, I was trying to get animated and get working on and all that kind of stuff before the ARAURA production took off. I'm going to do it like one of those. It's going to be like set paintings and images to text, and it's going to play out like a Super Nintendo prologue, just to get my story out there. And it's going to come out in like kind of episodes. So I think each one of these is going to be about 5-6 minutes. I'm planning about 4 or 5 of them. I hope to release the first couple of them this fall sometime. So yeah, it's planned and it's happening. So I wanted to bring in a bunch of like content creators as voice actors. I actually talked to them. They were all on board, and you know, everything else, production stuff happened and everything. And then the actual first version of that thing got shut down. Like, they were like, you can't do that. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. I didn't ask questions. I didn't push back. I was like, okay, fair. But this version of it, I can do. So, but yeah, so the Resident Evil dialogue has been good. I've been really enjoying talking about this. Yeah, I was talking to who was I talking to? I was talking to Baby Seal, Unileska, Night Sky Prince, even Soldier First Class was gonna put his content creator cap back on and come on to be a part of it. He's like, I'll do it for you, bro. I'll do it for you. And I was like, okay. Yeah, like everybody, all the what I consider mainly Final Fantasy people they had agreed to be a part of it. And we were going to get rolling, and then they just kind of got shut down. So But yeah, I'm still bummed because I had animatics ready for it. Like animatics, I was sequencing things out, and then. But yeah, that's what happens a lot of times. There's so many animated projects that you have no idea that got started and got shut down. Got started and got shut down. So it is what it is. Onward and upward. But there's nothing saying I can't release a Resident Evil script for you all to check out. And at some point, I'll release that Knights of the Round script as well. If people are interested in reading scripts, it's not in story format. It's written like a script. So if y'all are interested, I might release that at some point too. Once I get this other version of the project done and out, you'll get to see what the original animated project was going to look like. So, and it's pretty mature. It's pretty mature. But yeah, I won't say anything about it until you all get to see it. So. Well, it is 12:30, and we talked a bit longer than I meant to tonight. I meant to get into back in Lunar this evening, but I think we have run out of time because I have got to be up early. We will do Lunar tomorrow night for sure. I want to get back into it. And last night, I totally didn't intend to just voice act all of Lunar 1, but that's just kind of how it worked out. I wound up voice acting everybody in that. But yeah, so there's some characters coming up that I've got some funny voices for. I was thinking about last night when I got done streaming. I was like, what if so-and-so sounded like this? And like, there's a female character coming up in particular. They're like, hey, what you doing there? What did? That's absolutely how I'm going to read her. But anyway, I'm just going to hop off here for the night. Thank you all for being here. Part of the stream, part of the discussion tonight. Of course, great discussion. You all had some great theories, some great ideas for where this is all going to go. I am... oh yeah, absolutely, Angel. Theories and speculation are kind of why people are here. So I got to give the people what they want, right? So, but anyway, I'm going to hop off here for the night. You all have a great one. Be safe, be good to each other, keep rocking, and I will see you all in the next video or live stream. Oh, I know, yeah, I can't wait to get into more Lunar as well. Alright, you all take care. I'll catch you later.